Howdy folks, Calibrated.Core here, and I just got access to the beta testing for Escape from Tarkov. I've had this game for approximately 10 days now, and so I put about 10 to 15 hours on my original profile, but I didn't get any recordings of it because I really wanted to try it out for myself and really take a look at how in-depth it is. And so today, actually this morning, I decided to reset my profile so I could start from square one and show you what this game is all about. This is one of the most incredible hardcore FPSs I've ever played, to be honest. It has elements of The Division, Arma 3, oh shoot, so many other games. It's unbelievable. It's one of the most realistic games I've played in regards to bullet physics, weapon handling, movement, so on and so forth. And it is just incredibly difficult and punishingly brutal. The cool thing about this game is that any gear that you take into a raid can be lost, and so other people can pick up your weapons, and you may never see your equipment again. But likewise, that works for other people too. So if you kill them and take their gear, if they don't have it insured or if they don't have it put in their little special alpha container, so to speak, that allows you to get loot if you die, then they're SOL. So I thought I'd do just a brief introduction to show you guys a little bit of the character and the training, and then a little bit later I'll jump into my first gameplay on this new profile to see how it goes. So initially you're met with the closed beta. Attention, this is a beta version of Escape from Tarkov for testing purposes because it just entered closed beta, like I said, 10 days ago. And so if you head over to character, you get an idea to be able to see what you got. So on this right side here, you have your stash. This is all the space that you get to put all the cool weapons, gadgets, gear, so on and so forth. Currently, they offer 3 packages, and each package that you, depending on which one you buy, has a larger stash, a smaller stash, or a larger alpha container. In this case, the original one that I had was the alpha container, but since I upgraded to the medium package, the middle of the road, I got the beta container, which is only a 3x3 slot, or excuse me, 3x2 slot. In this case, this is the, if you die and you have any loot in this case, you'll be able to keep that. But that's it. You can't put any weapons in there aside from a pistol or a knife or something like that. And or you can just stack it full of medical supplies or anything else that you can find. But once you die, this is the only thing you get to keep, for sure, for sure. And so this is it. This is all you get. So when you find some cool weapons, you got to really make a decision depending on how much space you have, or if you find some cool gear, what you're going to keep, what you're going to discard, what you're going to sell, and so on and so forth. So up here at the top left, we have overall. So this shows your character stats. As you can see, I'm playing the USEC. Currently, there's technically 3 factions. We have the USEC, which is more of like the NATO forces. Then we have Bayer, which is the Russian forces, and Scav. Scav is short form for scavenger, and basically that's a kind of a playable AI race, I guess, that you don't, or AI faction per se, that you don't necessarily level up or anything. It just gives you an opportunity to hop in the game, run around, and loot as much stuff as possible and extract. And whatever you extract with is what you get to keep. So it's kind of helpful if, for the sense, if you run into a game and you're low on equipment, low on medical supplies, low on everything else, food, so on and so forth, you can jump into your scav character, play it once an hour, loot, and extract. But if you die in there, you're not getting any of that gear, so you got to be pretty careful. So as you can see up here, so your normal stats, health and physical condition, statistics, your common stats, when you registered, so on and so forth. Then we went to gear section, which I showed you originally. Health is pretty cool. This is one of the neatest aspects of it. So if you're familiar with like Call of Pripyat and all those other the Pripyat games, and this is the same developer, and so they really wanted to try and make it as realistic as possible. And the medical system is pretty neat. Each of your different arms and legs and your head, so on and so forth, can be wounded and suffer status effects like fractures, blood loss, so on and so forth. And so right here, these 35, 80, 60, so on and so forth, this adds up to your total number of your health pool here. So you may have a left leg that's completely damaged, 0 health, and you may have to limp throughout the whole game. Or it could be slightly wounded and you heal it back up, and that contributes to this overall health pool. So it's a pretty neat system. And like I said, you can suffer different status effects. For the head, you can suffer like contusions and dizziness and pain, and which throws off your screen, and it's definitely really neat. But you got to pay attention to this stuff, because if you don't heal yourself or treat yourself, you'll die pretty quickly. For the skills section up here, currently we have only 6 skills in the game at this moment for the beta, but as you can see, there's quite a few. And it's really neat. There's a bunch of passive skills and there's a bunch of active skills and physical skills that you level up as you're going throughout the game. So, for example, metabolism, which is pretty cool. When you're in the game and you find different water or different food items or anything like that, you eat that and that contributes to your metabolism, right? And so that lessens like the physical effects of heat or the weather effects or dehydration and so on and so forth. So it really boosts your survival capabilities. Health is pretty cool. If you get shot or wounded or something like that and you heal up, it contributes to how slow you'll bleed out and so on and so forth. So pretty neat things that we have here. Stress resistance improves the chances of withstanding the injury shock and mitigates the analgesic handshakes and tremors because you will experience that. Vitality is pretty much what it is. Improves the chances of surviving a wound by decrease the possibility of bleeding. And then endurance. That's just your stamina and what you can carry in that. As you can see, you have quite a few other skills, like I said before. These will still level up, but you won't be able to actually use them per se in the game because they're not implemented yet. Maps, this is going to be maps that you're going to find in the raids itself, or you can buy from the traders. As you level up your reputation with traders, with which I'll go over here soon, you'll be able to purchase maps of the map that you're playing on, which are useful just because they kind of give you a general idea of what you're looking for, but it doesn't necessarily show you loot items or anything like that. It just shows you the basic layout of where you're going. And notes, this is where you can actually set an active note, whatever you want. For example, like key location for the factory is in customs map or something like that. So you can type in anything you want. Eventually this will be filled up with active tasks, as you can see here, which are quests that'll be given out by NPC traders in that, which I think that should be arriving, if rumor is correct, in 3 to 4 weeks. So it's pretty cool. So now we'll move on to the trading section. Right here, we have the trading section. This is where we have our different NPCs in here, the sellers at the moment. We're also going to have a flea market and auction house. Eventually that will be implemented. I haven't heard much word about that, so we're standing by on that. I think it's supposed to be in the next patch or two from what I read, but we'll have to wait and see. So for the first person here, we'll just go to Pavel, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. A lot of these traders offer different equipment and guns. As you can see, this is kind of grayed out, and how that works is you actually have to examine the item. So as you go out throughout the world and you find different loot items, you're going to be able to, there's hundreds of items to find. And if you haven't come across it before, you're going to have to examine it and see what it is. And so a lot of items are actually, they look the same, but they have different outcomes and they're surprising sometimes. Like for example, a DVD player may look like a graphics card or something like that. So it's a pretty neat system, and you actually get a little bit of XP for every item you examine. The reason you see I have so many items that are unexamined is because, like I said, I reset my profile, and so I have to redo all this and re-examine everything to make sure that I can see it again. Once you encounter this in the game, it stays examined forever, so you never have to worry about going through and re-clicking everything again. So which is pretty convenient. At the top right here, this is your current attitude with the trader. So I'm level 1, pretty basic. And the next loyalty rank or level, I have to get to level 2, I have to be level 10 and spend 400,000. In order to do so, you can spend it by either buying items from the trader or selling items at the top. And basically, that's how you advance to the next rank, which allows you to get different gear, newer items, newer attachments, so on and so forth. So just about every trader is like that. Therapist is the exact same way. Oops, sorry about that, hit the console key. Fence is not. He's one of those really neat traders where he's dabbles in a lot of everything. He does look like a person from Anonymous or that, and I think that's actually one of his characteristics or traits or something like that. But what's cool about him is like right now he's considered almost the in-game trader, because if anybody sells something to him, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, it'll show up here for a brief second, and you'll have the opportunity to buy it as the player. So he's one of the only traders that does that, which is pretty neat. And he dabbles in everything. Some of the traders are pretty specific. For example, Pavel deals in the Russian stuff, so you'll see a lot of AKs, Russian submachine guns, SKS, so on and so forth. Whereas right here, Peacekeeper, he deals in with the American stuff, or not necessarily American, more the NATO stuff. So M4s, also it's P226, so on and so forth, all the attachment. Actually, he deals in US dollars, which is cool. There's different currencies in the game. So you have rubles, dollars, and euros. So Skier is pretty cool. He deals with a lot of attachments for shotguns and that, and he actually offers the best armor in the game once you level him up. And so it's pretty neat. There's a lot of different nuances and little well, and it's not even little differences. There's quite a few differences between the traders. So, and there's actually a strategic way of leveling them up. You know, if you want to go for heavy armor right off the bat, you're going to level up skier. But if you want to level up, if you want like assault rifles really early on in the game, you'll level up prapor. So it really comes down to your play style and what you're interested in playing. The first playthrough, I leveled up prapor, and so I got to level 3 or 4. It had access to some really cool AKs and attachments, which was really useful. But at the same time, I was still using basic light armor. And so when I was playing the games, I was getting wrecked because I'd be playing against players that were like level 20 that, you know, leveled up skier first and had crazy armor and, you know, crappy weapons. But I couldn't kill them. So it was a little difficult. And so it's definitely, you definitely have your own play style, and you'll definitely figure out which traders you want to level up first and what to go for. And like I said, if you screw up like I did, or if you want to change the outcome what you did, just go ahead and reset your profile, and you can reset that every 10 days. So that ends my introduction for the game at this current state. As soon as I start playing, I'll start recording some gameplay videos so I can show you a little bit of aspects of how, do a little tutorial about how movement works and how to be quiet and how to play through some of the maps. And so expect to see those soon. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and gave you a little brief overview of what's going on with the game and how it looks. And I look forward to playing with you guys. Thanks for watching.